The family that left me on the streets at 16, now 30 years later, wants to apologize and make up for lost time. Okay, as a mild lurker on Reddit, I thought I would share my story and the newest development in my life after 30 years. It might be a bit long, but I'll do my very best to give you context without too much fluff. Hope this is the right sub. So I lost my mom when I was 12 to breast cancer. That just left me and my dad. It was a tough time, but we got through it together. When I was 14, Dad met and married my stepmom Ashley, who brought with her my stepbrother Mark 14 and stepsister Emily 12. I got along with Ashley and Emily really well, but Mark not so much, so he and I were always getting into arguments and fights. I was always told by my dad to give Mark a break because he's been the man of his house for a while, so this is all new, like somehow it wasn't new to me. Anyways, when I was 15 I met a girl at school, Lisa, and we started dating as much as one can date at 15. However, Mark apparently had a crush on her and was mad that I asked her out. He started a fight over it, in which my dad had to intervene once again, and somehow I was again made to be the bad guy. One day after my 16th birthday, my stepmom was putting away my laundry and started yelling, which was awkward because my girlfriend Lisa was there. We all ran thinking the worst. When we got to my room, my stepmom was holding several pairs of my sister's underwear, yelling at me, asking why they were in my drawer. I had no answer as I had never seen them before. Of course, no one believed me no matter how much I protested. Then Mark piped up saying he always caught me staring at his sister, thought it was creepy, and once heard me saying I wished I could marry her. Obviously he was lying, but that was all it took. Lisa slapped me, called me a perv, and told me we were done before walking out. My dad grabbed me by the arm and threw me out of the house, yelling that he wasn't going to put his daughter at risk from a perv, not the word he used, but you get it. I banged on the door crying and telling them it was all lies told by Mark. My dad apparently had enough. I heard the locks, he opened the door, shoved me to the ground, and told me to get lost. I told him I had nowhere to go, and he said that wasn't his problem, then closed the door. I found myself on the streets with nothing to my name, no place to go. I tried calling my dad's parents, but he had already called them and they told me they wouldn't help. My mom's parents passed away before I was born. I lived on the streets for 2 years doing what I had to in order to survive. No kid should have had to do what I did just to live, just saying. There were some really dark days. Lots of therapy later in life helped me with this. Shortly after I turned 18, I found a job working at a boxing gym states away from where I began this horrible journey. I worked there for years, learned the sport, never going to beat Mike Tyson, but I was good at it, which helped me with my hate and anger. Then one day I met a new girl, May, at the CAF down the street from the gym. At this point I was 35. I know, huge age gap, but we just clicked. I don't believe in fate or soulmates or any of that stuff, but if there is such a thing, we had it. Don't know how else to put it. We dated for 2 years and then got married. Her dad was an electrician and hired me on afterward, I think mostly to ensure I could support his daughter and that I was doing right by her, but also in case he needed to keep me in check. He never said this, but as a dad, I get it now. Well, 15 years later we are still together with 4 beautiful daughters. I just passed my master's license as an electrician thanks to my wife pushing me to get my GED. She has been my rock, my cheerleader, my overall support through it all, and I can't tell her enough how much she changed my life and how much I love her. Anyways, sorry for the tangent. Just this last weekend I received an email from my stepsister. Not sure how she got my email address, but I know it isn't hard via the internet. Not like I've been hiding, mind you. I'm now pushing 53, so it's been 30 plus years since I've heard from any of them. It was a long email, not going to give you all of it, but the meat of it is they now know what really happened. Mark, I guess, was busy drinking with his buddies on Friday and somehow my name was mentioned. Mark started bragging about how he set me up and took my girl. Yep, Mark and Lisa got together and married all those years ago. They were all laughing, hoping I died on the streets, bunch of rude and vile stuff. Guess he forgot Lisa was there and she heard it all, so she called my stepsister to let her know. Emily spent all weekend trying to find me. Like I said, the email was long. The short of it is they want to apologize face to face, although it was already said in the email multiple times, and want to make up for lost time. I'm indifferent to the idea. I have no ill feelings towards her. She was obviously young and had no real say in the matter, but with lots and lots of therapy I learned to let go of that hate and anger and to let go of them as well. With all the love I received from my wife, kids, and in-laws, it's all I really need. I'm of the idea of just deleting the email and moving on like nothing happened. My wife thinks I should at least respond back, even if just to say something snarky like thanks for finally believing me, only took over 30 years. Did I mention my wife has a mean petty streak to her? LOL. She's awesome. Guess I'm not asking for advice, just wanted to share my story. There's a boxing quote that I have up in my house that reminds me every day: to see a man beaten not by a better man but by himself is a tragedy. Update: first, I want to thank everyone for their kind words and advice. I wasn't looking for advice, just wanted a place to share my story. To those that gave me credit for overcoming everything, thank you. However, my wife thinks she deserves most of it, lol, and in all honesty, she does. To those who think this is fake, well, it's Reddit, I get it. It is what it is. Most things have to be taken with a grain of salt. I shared my story, I can't make you believe me, but that's okay. If my story resonates and helps others know they can survive, then I'm happy with that, and that's all that matters. Okay, for the update, I'm going to post most of the original email as a lot of you have requested. I've kept out some deep personal info, but the majority of it is there. I might have to break it up due to character limit. Plus, I'll share my response with the help of my wife and also the help of others who made suggestions, which is good because I'm not that great at putting down in words how I feel without coming off looking dumb. She was able to make me sound less dumb, lol. Taking the family to the lake for the weekend to recharge and leave this all behind me. Thanks again to everyone. Emily's letter. Dear OP, this is your sister Emily. As I sit down to finally reach out to you after what feels like an eternity, I would like to explain why. I understand if you choose not to read this, but I truly hope you will take the time to at least hear me out. First of all, I want to apologize for never taking the time to contact you before. I was misled by Mark and Dad, who constantly painted a negative picture of you in my mind. They filled my head and heart with lies and made me believe that you were someone you were not. For a while I held on to hope that you would come back home, but as time passed and their words continued to poison my thoughts, I let go of that hope and allowed myself to believe the worst about you. It pains me to admit that I even started to hate you, despite the fact that deep down I always considered you a brother to me. I felt betrayed by the twisted image that was presented to me, and I regret not reaching out to hear your side of the story sooner. A lot has changed in our family since you left. I got married and now you're an uncle. Mom and Dad are still together and are preparing for retirement. Mark and Lisa eventually got married and they have no children. However, the truth that has recently come to light has shaken the very foundation of everything I thought I knew. On Friday, Lisa overheard Mark boasting about how he orchestrated the setup against you, how he manipulated everyone into believing his lies, and how he ultimately took Lisa from you. He even joked about how he hoped you were dead, never to be heard from again. Lisa, devastated by the revelation, called me in tears and revealed everything to me. I spent the rest of the weekend searching for any trace of you online. It took some time, but I finally managed to find your email address, and here I am. I know this may not mean much considering the circumstances, but I am truly sorry for everything that happened to you. I can't begin to comprehend the pain and suffering you endured, all because of a cruel and selfish lie. I am ashamed of myself for believing Mark's lies and for allowing him to manipulate our family into abandoning you. I deeply regret not standing up for you, not questioning the narrative we were fed, and not being the sister you deserved. I understand that an apology may not be enough, but I want to make things right if possible. I want to rebuild our relationship, to get to know you again, and to make up for all the lost time. I want to hear your side of the story, to understand the person you've become, and to offer my support in any way I can. I know it won't be easy, and I completely understand if you need time or if you choose not to respond at all. Just know that I am here, and I am willing to do whatever it takes to make amends. Lastly, I want you to know that Mark and Lisa are going through a difficult time. The truth has caused a significant rift in their marriage, and they are both grappling with the consequences of their actions. Mom and Dad are also struggling with the revelation, and they have expressed a deep desire to reach out to you as well. They too want to apologize and attempt to mend the broken bonds. I won't pressure you to make any decisions right now, but I hope that one day you might consider opening the door to reconciliation. I miss you, OP, and I hope that one day we can find a way back to being a family. With all my heart, I am sorry. My response. Dear Emily, I read your email and have been reflecting on it for the past few days. To be honest, I never expected to hear from you, or anyone from the family, again. The past 30 years have been a long journey for me, and I've worked hard to rebuild my life from the ground up after what happened. I have a loving wife and children who have given me a sense of purpose and happiness that I never thought I would find after what I went through. I appreciate your apology and the effort you've made to reach out to me. It must have taken a lot of courage to write this email, and I want you to know that I don't hold any ill will towards you. You were young and influenced by the adults around you. I understand that. However, the scars from what happened run deep. What Mark did destroyed my life at the time, and it took me years of struggle, pain, and therapy to come to terms with it. I've moved on from the anger and the hurt, but that doesn't mean I can forget it. The betrayal I felt from Dad, from Mark, and from you was profound. It was as if the people who were supposed to love and protect me decided that I wasn't worth the truth or the effort. I'm not sure where we go from here. I'm not saying that I'm opposed to reconnecting, but it's not something that can happen overnight. Trust is something that has to be rebuilt, and I'm not ready to dive back into that part of my life just yet. I need time to think, to process, and to figure out what I want for myself and my family moving forward. I hope you understand where I'm coming from. I wish you and your family all the best. Regards, OP. Today I effed up by falling asleep wearing a VR headset. It's 4:0 a.m. and I'm tired and stupid for this. I'm one of those people who sometimes forget what I was doing before I fell asleep. Tonight I was playing Resident Evil 7 in VR. It was getting late but I wanted to keep playing. I started to doze off and just passed out almost instantly. I woke up, my head feeling weirdly heavy. Holy, I just woke up and all I can see around me is a dark room with some tables and chairs. All I can hear are creepy noises and it's dark outside. I have no idea where I am. So logically I stand up from my chair. I hadn't even checked to look but I'm pretty sure my in-game guy was standing and I run and scream. Somehow my arm got around my monitor or maybe a cord, I don't know. I also ran into the wall which made no sense to me because I wasn't even near a wall. And then it happened. I start to feel hands all around me, my mom, and the feeling of something coming in or out of my earbuds that I didn't know were there, and the sound of my mom asking, "What the hell, are you okay?" She took the headset off of me and I saw the destruction I did to my monitor and the small dent in the wall. My mom laughed her ass off at me and told me we will talk about it tomorrow.